Hello everyone, my name is Chintan Shah and today we are going to talk about all things important about the IPM course at IIM Rohtak. IPM is the Integrated Program in Management that is given out by 5 IIMs at this stage. IPM was started in 2011 with IIM Indore being the first college, but eventually the other new IIMs followed trait. Let's get to know a little bit history about IIM Rohtak. IIM Rohtak was launched in 2009 when a lot of the new IIMs were being set up. IIM Rohtak initially started their PGP, that is the MBA course, in 2009. But with the growing popularity of the IPM course, they soon started their IPM course as well. The IPM course at IIM Rohtak was started in the year 2019. What happened was that Indore was the only college giving out the IPM course. Ranchi, Rohtak and the other colleges soon started following suit. Now, this year, that is 2024, was the first year that saw the IPM batch, the first IPM batch at IIM Rohtak graduate. And the results have been fruitful. We'll talk about the results, we'll talk about their opportunities and what all they managed to do in this first entire course. The IPM course, which is the Integrated Program in Management, is an integrated program of BBA and MBA. It is a 3-year course which gives you a BBA degree and then the remaining 2 years are similar to the MBA course. Now, what is the degree that you get? The degree that is awarded to you at the end of the first 3 years is the BBA degree, which is your Bachelor's of Business Administration. But what about the remaining 2 years? After you complete your BBA and eventually take your seat at the MBA program, the degree that you get is the MBA, which is Masters of Business Administration. Now, the total number of seats intake that IIM Rohtak has for their IPM course is 180. Obviously, there are an additional 10% seats under the EWS category, but for the other students, it's only 180 seats. Now, for the students who are getting into the college for their IPM program, do have an exit option at the end of 3 years. So if you feel that, okay, I'm happy with the BBA degree and I want to explore the industry, if I want to take up a job at the end of 3 years, you definitely have the option to exit after the first 3 years. But know that your IIM degree, the MBA degree that you're going to get, is now no longer valid. The seat is basically forgiven. Now, let's take a look at the admission process to get into IIM Rohtak. The entrance exam that IIM Rohtak accepts for their IPM program is the IPMAT Rohtak, which is usually the second last exam to happen somewhere around the time of May. The eligibility criteria for a student to be able to take the test is that if you belong to the open category or the EWS category or the OBC category, you need to have a bare minimum 60% in your 10th standard as well as your 12th standard. But if you're a student from the SC, ST or the PWD category, which is person with disability, then this number slightly is lower, which is at 55%. The selection procedure for IIM Rohtak is that you first give the IPMAT exam and then there is an online personal interview, which starting now has also become an offline personal interview, basis which a combined score is calculated, and that is when the final merit list is revealed. That gives you the admission. If we look at the weightages, if we look at the criterias, so for the final selection, there is a 45% weightage that is given out to the IPMAT Rohtak exam, but there is only a 15% weightage that is given out to your personal interview. So 45 and 15 eventually make 60. Where does the other 40 come from? So IPM Rohtak or IPMAT Rohtak is the only course where your academics are taken into account. The weightage for the academics is 40%, 20% for your 10th standard and 20% for your 12th standard. This combined, that is 45 for the IPMAT Rohtak, 15 for the interview and 20 each for your 10th and 12th score is combined together to make your merit score, and that is what is used for your admissions. Now, a very important point here, irrespective of which board do you belong to, it could be state board, it could be CBSE, it could be ICSE or any other board that you belong to, your final academics, your 10th and the 12th is always going to be calculated on a best of 5 basis. It does not matter if you have 6 subjects or if you have more subjects, they will only consider the top 5 subjects for calculation of these scores. Now, let's come to another important part, which is the curriculum design. Let's understand how is the entire curriculum at IIM Rohtak designed to maximize the potential of a student. The program is divided into two parts. The first part is foundation, which is your BBA degree, which is the first 3 years. And the second part is management, which are the last 2 years that you have of your course. They follow a trimester pattern, which means that you have 3 terms in every year, which makes 9 terms in the first 3 years of your BBA and 6 terms in the next 2 years of your MBA, making it a cumulative 15 terms over the period of 5 years. The entire syllabus is divided across 4 core areas. These 4 areas are mathematics, economics, statistics, and humanities. And trust me when I say this, these are reflected in your entire curriculum of the first 3 years as well. Because you have subjects like calculus, differential calculus, integral calculus in your first and second year as well. At the same time, you have subjects like psychology, sociology, and philosophy as well within the first year itself. So they want to imbibe these values in you by means of actual practical subjects. Next is, the next best part is that they have 3 foreign languages, as in they have 1 subject each in the 5th term, 6th term, and the 7th term, where you have to mandatorily learn a foreign language. And that kind of also gives you the international exposure as well, which we'll talk about soon. Now, this is an integrated program. They give you a mix of theory as well as practical, and therefore you have an internship at the end of every single year of your BBA as well as your MBA. This is the X factor that IIM Rohtak adds to your candidature. Now, along with this, they also have business electives. They also have extra value-added electives in each and every term. So 1 to 2 electives in every term takes your tally to approximately 9 to 12 electives over the course of the first 3 years. Now, these electives could be anything, right from your calculus subjects to your game theory subjects to advertising and any other topics that are relevant in the industry. Now, this was all about the BBA course, the first 3 foundation programs. Now, when we come to the management aspect, your 4th and your 5th year is same as a normal MBA that every other student who is going to get into the college through the CAT. So, the last 2 years are actually going to be focused on management, and it goes exactly similar to the curriculum of an MBA. But there is one small caveat. If you do not manage to get a score of 5 CGPA at the end of 3 years, you are not eligible to take admission into the 4th year. So, just because you're admitted to the IPM program, the 5-year program, does not guarantee that you will be admitted to the MBA program, because the minimum requirement is 5 CGPA. But there is another problem. If you do not manage to get a 5 CGPA but are still above 4 and below 5, they do give you a BBA degree and you have to exit the program. But by God forbid, let's say your score is less than 4, then you do not even get the degree and then you have to exit the program. So just be careful about these numbers. You have to maintain a 5 CGPA at least to get into their MBA program. But if you are not looking for it, then the threshold is 4, because you do get a degree if your CGPA is more than 4. Now, let's come to the next part, which is the exposure factor. So IIMs are known to give you a lot of practical experience. IPM Rohtak is no behind in this. At the end of the first year, you have a mandatory 6 to 8 years of rural or social internship that you can choose in a stream that you are interested in. After that, you have an immersive project at the end of the second year, which depends on your expertise, which depends on your interest, and accordingly you can look for it. At the end of the third year, there is a compulsory business internship that you are supposed to take in a particular corporate setup, and this is the same at the end of the 4th year as well, because at the end of the 3rd year after your internship, you are eventually admitted to your MBA program. And as the MBA curriculum goes, you do have a summer internship program, which is a mandatorily corporate internship that is given out to you at the end of the 4th year of our IPM course or at the end of the 1st year of our MBA course. Now, along with this, IPM Rohtak also has 3 foreign university connects which do provide you a foreign exchange program. These 3 universities are Singapore Management University in Singapore, California State University in Fullerton, and the Kelly School of Business in Indiana, USA. So 1 in Singapore and 2 in USA. This is going to give you the much needed international exposure as well if you are willing to go for it. But apart from these internships, you also have access to 30 plus clubs and committees that are completely driven by the students on the campus. These clubs and committees are going to give you a much needed exposure, a much needed initiative taking ability, at the same time a lot of opportunities to apply your practical skills, which are going to be ranging over the 5 years of your entire course. Now, let's come to the next part, which is also the important part in terms of fees and the return on investment, that is the placements. So, the fees at IPM Rohtak is 5.88 lakhs. But take this number with a pinch of salt, because there are a few additional costs. There is a material cost, the study material cost that is added on this, which is different for every year. At the same time, students are supposed to pay additional mess charges, which are disclosed at the start of the year. So those are the numbers that are not really known right now, and those are only and only disclosed at the start of a year. So you will get to know those numbers once you are admitted into the program. So conservatively, this number can go up to anywhere around 6.5 to 7 lakhs per year. Now, this is for the first 3 years, that is your BBA or the IPM course. After which, once you go to your PGP program, that is your MBA program, the fees that are applicable for the MBA program or the PGP program is also applicable to you. This fees, as of now, is anywhere around 9 to 10 lakhs per term, which brings the overall cost to 20 lakhs for the MBA program with some additional costs, which might bump it up to 22 lakhs. So, 777 would take it to approximately 21-22 lakhs for the first 3 years and 21-22 lakhs for the second year or the second part, that is 4th and the 5th year. What is the return on this placement? So these are the placement numbers for IPM Rohtak, and these are the placement numbers of the first graduating batch of IPM Rohtak. As you can see that there were a total of 237 recruiters, out of which 70 were new, and there were 40 plus PPOs that were given out to students. And the highest package was around 48 lakhs. So on an investment of 40 to 44 lakhs, the students have gotten a return of 48 plus lakhs as well. And that number is quite promising. That number is the value addition that an IPM program does to you. Now, that is all about the integrated program in management at IIM Rohtak. Here you can see there is a QR code for the IMS brochure, which you can find the details of every course. At the same time, here is a zero fee program. So if you just want a sneak peek into all the offerings that IMS has to offer, you can just scan the QR code for the zero fee program and take a look. And here are the details of all our online batches. So please have a look. Thank you so much and all the best.